Hi, I want to share something about the mystical way in human design. And it is because in the last time I was reflecting a lot about it. But before I really come to the core issue, I feel I need to explain what it is the mystical way. It is composed by 4 different channels. It starts in the root center in the gate 19. It goes to the 49. It's a tribal channel. The 49 is in the solar plexus. From the solar plexus it goes to the ego. The 37 to the 40. From the ego it goes to the G center, the 51 to the 25. And from the G it goes to the throat through the 10 to the 20. And before I come to my point, I want to share the story of the mystical way. And as in general, the mystical way is the path of the human from starting something to going back to the self. So when I start at the gate 19 in the root center, it is really the fuel to start something that takes you to connect with something, someone, the tribe, yes? To get in touch with the tribe, to see the path, to have the fuel, the energy, to connect in a certain way to kind of a connection, yes? Not kind of, a connection. And then the 3740, it's already inside the community, the tribe. And inside the community and the tribe, you start to cultivate a skill that you can contribute and share inside the community structure. Now, both of these channels are the stream of touch. So it's really about coming in touch with the tribe, getting involved via the touch with the tribe and cultivating something that you are of benefit inside of the community tribe structure. And from that point on, when you are in the ego center, which is very tribal, it is going the opposite direction of what you think, and it is going back to the individuality. After you cultivated enough of a self-journey skill inside the group, it is going back, the advancement is going back to the innocence of the self, back to the G center. 51, the gate of shock, to the 25, the love of the universe. And in the G center, you are contemplating the now. Gate 10, the behavior, goes to the 20, to be awake or not awake in the now. And this is the mystical way. Now, each person will have individually, depends on his chart, his issues maybe, but there is one big issue with which I was in my life failing in it or going into the trap of it. And it is in the moment that you are in the community and you harvested, cultivated enough of a skill, the ego starts to form his identity of wanting to do with it something. The channel 21, 45, the money line that goes from the ego to the throat, is the last channel of the stream of smell that goes the opposite way, the root to the spleen, spleen to the ego. It's all the same tribal circuitry. It made me a bit confused to remember this. The point is, there is a point. Instead of going to the innocence of the self, there is a danger to go to the money line. Gate 21, the huntress, the hunter. Gate 45, the gatherer. What do you hunt and gather? The money? I admit this is what made me walk the wrong way, to hunt and gather the money. Really, I admit it. And it is really with the smell, the stream of the smell, yes, the 21:45 is the end of it, that I can smell how I can make or manipulate something to happen with what I cultivated, what I achieved to be inside the group structure, the tribe structure, the human design world of community in the Facebook or whatever. And in my past, there were times where I was comparing myself to other people, other therapists. I learned different kinds of therapies. One which I can remember and is an example is a massage therapy, which I believe and others gave me the feedback that I was good in it. But instead of just letting it come from the innocence of the self, I compared myself and tried to be like others are. And it took me to a place that I need to make money from it. I need to be able and sustain myself. And it went this pressure made me behave and do things that are not natural to myself, that does not feel harmonious and authentic with me. The same happened with the human design. I started by my own, a rebel, going alone, an anarchist, but I started to learn with John Martin. And we came to a place where I went through the three first courses, LYD, Rave ABC, Rave C, cartography. And I received the certificate of an LYD guide. And I was starting again, the same story of comparing myself, of trying to do something, trying to make a living from it, and I started to perform out of my authenticity. Authenticity. Now I made it. And I caught myself and I stopped. And it just happened recently. And still I'm continuing to meet and have sessions with John, and I even didn't bring it up in the session, but he brought the mystical way up, and where most people fail, and I just saw it's just what I did. It's just what happens. I understood it as a path of life that happens with humans. That you go and you join something, you cultivate something, and either you try and smell how you can do with it something in order to because of the fears, and it's like surrendering to the fears that you need to make it here, or back to the innocence of the self. And when I was in the innocence of the self, this is not a poor place to be. It's a place that is contemplating the now. And in that place, when the connection is made with whatever skill I have, I learned, the frequency that will come with it is just a different kind of frequency. And it was just coming out, or coming into manifestation out of nowhere, out of the unknown, and then going back there. And I also see in the moment I had this kind of experience and sharing, there was again the pressure of the ego, the hunter, the huntress, the 21, that wants maybe to make and achieve with it something, to make something happen, because it says, hey, I can do with it something. But I just cannot. Maybe I tried, and maybe I will try again. I hope not, but if it will be, it will be. I can just see that the pressure of the ego that wants to go to manifestation and avoid to deal with the fears and being in the now with not knowing what the heck will happen is not easy. And this pressure will come, and it will come, I'm sure, again to me. But I also feel that my ability to observe and see it is getting stronger and more aware. This was going with me for some time now in the last weeks, and I just felt to share it, and I feel this is not only my trip, although it came from my trip, and this is part of everyone's trip, where we go to the money or to the self. Till now I survived not going full into the money and I'm sure I can not just be in a survive mode, I can also be abundant in the feeling of myself, in the innocence of the self. This is it.